In one of the first real threats of Georgia production actually leaving the state because of the new abortion law, Ozark star Jason Bateman is threatening to pull the production out of Georgia. Jennifer Bellamy joins us now. And Jennifer, Mr. Bateman is more than just the show's star in this instance.
Yeah, Jeff, along with starring in all 3 seasons and directing multiple episodes of the Netflix series, Jason Bateman is also one of the executive producers of Ozark. Bateman told The Hollywood Reporter, "If the heartbeat bill makes it through the court system, I will not work in Georgia or any other state that is so disgracefully at odds with women's rights." The show is currently wrapping up its 3rd season in Georgia. This video from our Sky Tracker caught yesterday over DeKalb Peachtree Airport. Production was using the hangar to shoot a scene with a plane there. And although the show is still set, or it's set rather, at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, it shoots at Lakes Lanier and Allatoona, along with several other locations around metro Atlanta. The large draw for productions like Ozark and Bateman's other Georgia production, HBO miniseries The Outsiders, is Georgia's tax credits for the film industry. It's worth noting that while Ozark has been nominated for multiple awards, the 2 that it's won for are Jason Bateman and himself as an actor and outstanding locations in contemporary television.